Hey everyone, it's Joe Lyons here in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, and Jackie here from Copenhagen, Denmark.
So this is going to be, it's going to feel a little weird when you're watching this because Jackie and I, we'd actually finished up our last podcast, and he had mentioned something about, I think it had something to do with saving a file or using a file as a stream. And I said, hey, you know what? I had released an update to my screen clipping tool because, and I think you were the one that told me that there was the OCR on the forum, and I'm like, oh, let me get built into Windows. And so I tried incorporating it in my incorporation of it. I noticed the OCR tool needed a file, an image file, not a stream. Like I had to actually save the file, save the image as a file first, and then feed it a file. And so I tried to figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out. So I said, who cares, whatever, I'll save it as a file. And then when Jackie mentioned this earlier, I said, hey, do you happen to know anything about this? So, of course he does, and he's brilliant. But he works through here in a minute of converting the script I had over to using a stream instead of the file. And thankfully I had said, hey, we weren't actually even planning for podcasts. I just wanted it for my own knowledge of, let me hit record because we were getting some technical stuff. And then so I'm going to merge the two together, and we'll start here in a minute. But Jackie, I don't know if you have anything to add.
I was just happy that I'd seen someone else actually do this. So yeah, happy that we actually made it work.
Yeah, it was very cool. It's still lightning fast, so it's actually working right now. And I'll just do a little demo here. So if watch it not work, but let me grab this. And here it shows you what it grabbed is now on the clipboard. That is it compared to the other one with Tesseract. And tell me again, that one does pre-processing or something?
Yeah, it does pre-processing. Yeah.
So the other one, on average, I think does a better job in total, but this one is so fast. And for the most part, it seems really accurate. So I was stoked to incorporate it. Now I'm really excited because now it's not even saving it to a file, which isn't a big deal, but still, if you don't have to save something to a file, why save it to a file?
Yeah.
Thanks again, man. That's I think a lot of people are going to learn a lot of interesting. This is a much more advanced topic that Jackie walks through. I still didn't understand the vast majority of it, but the concepts I was getting, it's the whole P-Bitmap and H-Bitmap and iStream flow, but there were some of the stuff that were, the concepts aren't that hard. It's the actual coding and how you're getting it. What do you remember if it was in a webinar or a podcast where you walked through another one of those like NumGet and talking about like I believe that this one was like 15, they move 15 and you were explaining that's moving 15 down in memory to get that function.
Yeah. I think it was, I don't think it was a podcast, but it okay. Might have been. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember we got into it, and it was another one we weren't actually planning to really go there. And then I think it was a webinar because I had picked a tool, and it might even be that notifications function that I was using, and we were stepping through it, and you were explaining the code. And anyway, it had a very, very similar thing of understanding in memory when you're using those NumGets or something, and it's moving to a new spot to say that's where that function is. Go grab that thing and put it in memory or do whatever thing.
Yeah. And it looks really obscure when you just see the code of they'll call NumGet with the NumGet in it and some kind of pointer times a different number, and it's hard to really explain what it's doing, but it's jumping places in memory. So yeah.
And it's funny because people say, I still say I'm not a programmer, right? But if I can ever actually really say where I feel comfortable and I understand this, then I'll have to say I'm a programmer. Because to me, that truly is just like, it's pretty obscure.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Right. Well, hope everyone enjoys the rest of this. Thanks again, Jackie, for working through. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So after he calls the function save as file by using these two numgets, he then passes the pointer to his iPicture, and the iPicture he just created above.
Uh-huh.
That's the first parameter. That's the self parameter. And then on the next one, he's passing a pointer to the PI stream. And that's a variable that he either created, or it's just because it's AutoHotkey, it's a blank parameter, a variable that can hold the pointer to the I stream.
Yeah, I see it here.
Yeah. So he created a stream on H global above, a few lines above, and 149. There.
What'd you say? A global?
An H global. That's.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
As the variable, or what? Or
yeah, he's just creating a pointer.
okay.
He's creating a stream, most likely in the global space. I'm H global, to me, that's above what I really know.
Okay.
Because I know that an H bitmap is a different kind of bitmap than the ones that we usually use. But what the H really stands for, I'm drawing a blank. I've heard it, but I'm not sure what.
It's not a handle, obviously.
Could be a global handle. Could be.
Okay.
Yeah, could be. Okay, so that's where he created that I stream, right? Okay, and on line 158,
Yeah.
did you make it smaller, or was that for your own sake?
I was just trying to get it to fit in here a little better.
Yeah, fair enough. It doesn't need to be that big, but okay. And the next two ones are then just an integer and a size. So those are normal parameters for del call. No, that's the one just above. That's the next two parameters that I'm talking about.
Oh, so okay.
So
all right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, over here. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's
Okay.
that's it. And this one, CLSID, that's class string ID, something like that. You've seen them before.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's creating that from degree 2, and those two, I think he defined those at the beginning of that function. Okay. If you scroll up a little bit, there you have the IID, random access stream, and the number of that. And and below on that line, he's then using that number and that function to create the RIID from those, which is, again, I couldn't create this myself. I can partly read it and talk through it, but I wouldn't be able to do this myself. This is still, I'd need some kind of schooling, most likely. Yeah, but below that, he's creating a random access stream over the stream. And from what I know about a random access stream is that random, in the aspect that random programs can access this stream. So instead of it being a controlled stream that is belonging to this process, because it's a random access stream, everybody can just access it randomly. So hopefully that's correct. That's at least what I believe that the line 160 is doing. And then you have line 161 and 162, who is just cleaning up. Yeah. And what was this function called? Was it just create random access stream or something?
H bitmap.
Oh, okay. So it's converting an H bitmap into a random access stream, and that's really the one you're after here. You have a bitmap currently from your GDI library.
Right.
And a bitmap from GDI is you need to convert that into a random access stream. And I can't remember if I'm just looking through my thing here. That's
what the OCR built-in tool needs.
The OCR built-in tool can use a random access stream. That's what's shown in this one. So if you scroll up, here he's creating on line 131, he's creating an H bitmap from screen. That's what it's the name of the function. And here it's just another way of creating a bitmap from an area, just like you currently do with your screen clipping tool. And this is just this library's method of doing it.
They both give you an H bitmap.
Yours probably gives you a P bitmap. A pointer to a bitmap. Where this one gives a pointer to an H bitmap. And that's where the H kind of, I lose what that really, I think it has to do with compatibility, where H bitmaps is a different format in the code.
Are you curious in learning?
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me just see if Chad, I'm just going to ping him and say, do you know the difference between an H bitmap and a P bitmap?
Yeah, because I know there is a small difference, but I also know that there is a simple GDI function to convert from a bitmap to an H bitmap. But you might be able to, in your small thing, be able to maybe stub a step before. Do you have your
I can open it up here.
Screen clipping tool?
Yeah, give me a second. Well, Chad looks like he's writing back. Not completely sure is what he said.
Yeah, okay. So we're pretty at the same place there. Yeah. But from looking here, if I look at the function that we have on screen now, line 133. It has the variable at the beginning, HBM. Let's be pretty sure that that means H bitmap, or even shorter. Because here he's creating a compatible bitmap. That's what the del call says.
Right. It's right in the name.
So to me, most likely an H bitmap is a more compatible version of a bitmap. Yeah. And that's what that is. So if you go, were you looking for your screen clipping?
No, but it's always running. Just let me just give me a second here. I have the icon hidden, so I have to launch my other script to let me get it. Anyway, this is the what I did, I just went ahead and saved it as a file, and then, just used what was already there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I didn't, I might have edited it to have the GDI Plus library somewhere you can open as well.
Sure.
Yeah, if you make a search in this one for something that is called, what is it called? It's called something pretty straightforward. Create H bitmap from bitmap. Yeah, you even have it there, so you can probably jump further down until you get to it. There it is. So we now know that it's already built in to the GDI library, so you can just use this function as
without called. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So that was, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have an edited version of the GDI Plus. So now go back to your screen clipping tool. Is it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so somewhere you have a place where you actually start.
No, I don't think it's above that. Yeah, now we're getting close. This is
window.
This is the OCR. This is where if I have, it's inside a function, and if OCR is 1, then I read it in from the file. I save it as a file, and then I use the file.
Okay, you save it as a file because you need it as a file, or
because I had to, right?
The OCR needs it as a file.
Well, because the OCR needs it as a file, right?
Okay, so what you'd do here instead was you'd get the stuff we had over from TreeDrinker.
So that one, no, close that. That's nothing.
You called it something with OCR. So there might be stuff in here that
you also need
that you don't need.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you probably don't need to replace system cursors. This select area thing, probably you also have something to select your area.
Right.
You probably don't need start selection.
Right.
Get area, that's the same thing. The beginning of what you're seeing here, that's at least something. So you need the H bitmap to random access stream, that function, that's one you need.
Mm-hmm.
If you just put it where, if OCR thing, yeah.
Okay, we'll start here. We'll comment out what we don't need up here. But
yeah. You can probably comment all of that out except the clipboard and out with it. None of it is probably needed. Okay, fair enough. Then we actually need the H bitmap to random access stream function definition.
We need the we need to jump to it.
Yeah, you need to have the code in your in this one right now. The H bitmap to random access stream, the function definition is in TreeDrinker's script.
Oh, that's not one that's in GDI?
No, this is one that he wrote. So we need to find that in here somewhere. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, wrong way. How was it?
Seems correct enough. No, you're jumping to the beginning.
Yeah, hold on. There we go.
Okay. And then you need to place it somewhere in this. Yeah, fair enough.
Go back up here.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. If you then, yeah, fair enough. I understand what you did there. Okay, so if you go back to Tree Drinker's version now. I'm reading what's on screen. That's the thing. Okay, so no need to do it any more complex than this. If you take the just below this one, the next one, the CL, yeah, that one. Yeah, you need that one. Yes.
I came back to Tea Drinker.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do I need anything else?
Seems to be the only one that's not a built-in thing. Yeah, for now at least. Then go back to the top of Tea Drinker's script here. So then he does bitmap. He does delete object. You probably will take that one over as well. The del called delete object. Take that one.
But put it up with the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
What 10? Why?
You're not
I'm in the wrong.
right.
Yeah, thank you. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, just put it somewhere. Yeah. Until we it should probably be below the random access stream. Yeah, like that. Okay. Back to Tree Drinker's version. And here we probably need the one that's called, what are we looking at here? That's something with some area select. Does he have one called OCR or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we need. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I already have that because.
No, you have the one that does it on a file.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he redid it. So did I get that right? Oh, sorry.
No, you need more.
Oh, thank you. I should have hit the little minus thing, I guess, on. There we go.
There you go. And rename this OCR one, to something else. No, not the file, but the function.
Oh.
Just so we can have both in there, because you probably already have one called OCR.
So tea drinker OCR.
Don't want any underscore or anything?
Sure, never.
It's just me. Okay, so let's look over this code here. So we have we have create class. That's probably something you need. Create class and create H string, delete H string. Those should be over in Tree Drinkers one as well. Can you see if you have it in yours already?
Sorry, I was whoa. Huh. My screen clipping tool suddenly stopped working. Oops.
So you already have it.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good. Just so we know. Okay. So that's the same as with the old one.
Okay.
So go back to the new one we copied it in, TD OCR. Okay, fair enough. Let's look further down here. So current language, Nutley language, that's probably fine. Del call bitmap decoder class. Decoder class, I access random string. Fair enough, there. Wait, bitmap frame. Del call pixel width. Pixel, and there's a message box. I don't know if you want to have message boxes in your code.
I'll deal with it later.
Yeah, fair enough. Software bitmap, that's one of the ones that's interesting. Get software bitmaps, doing that. Waiting for async, get lines, count, doing a loop. Seems fine. Windows get string raw buffer, fair enough. String get, that's where it's getting the text. Release, OCR line, then cleanup, object release, more cleanup, and then return text. Okay, so it seems that we're almost ready. So if you go back to where we were editing, yeah. Okay, so what you need to do as soon as you get into the OCR here, where you, just above the P random access stream.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Here you are gonna put in H bitmap, small h, large B, whatever, however you like typing it. Yeah. And colon equals. And then it was called create. Was that create? H bitmap from bitmap, I think it was. And it's in the GDI library, so you probably can't get it. Oh, it's called GDI plus underscore. That's why we're not seeing it. There it is. Oh, no, you took it too early. Yeah. H bitmap. There it is.
Isn't that the one I had?
No, I just saw it in the list. You had taken it the other way around. Create bitmap from H bitmap. We needed create H bitmap from bitmap.
Okay, sorry.
And here you then put the P bitmap. So, and below the delete, yeah, below that one. Let's look at Tree Drinkers and see how he finished it off at the beginning of the script.
Yeah, okay.
He had simply text OCR thing. Yeah, just copy those.
Yeah, for now.
Right, for now, yeah.
Oh, but not Russian.
No, not Russian. That's a good catch. Yeah. Duplicate function definition. So you already had the function H bitmap to a random access string. Apparently already existed. And then the other one below it probably also exists. So remove that one from Tree Drinker.
I'm just going to change it for now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And this one too, you think?
I think.
You know what? Let's leave it and just, I'd rather do it that way. Okay, good.
Then it's saying wait for async. Okay, too many parameters passed to function. So he apparently changed his wait for async. Go and look at T-Drinker's version of that. he has two there, yeah. And if we look at the function definition, should be somewhere here. He apparently has a by ref object result there. Which,
so I need to take this and swap it out, right?
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
I know it wasn't our intention, but I think we should release this probably as a podcast. Sorry, what was the name of the thing?
Wait for async. Yeah, you can see he only has one parameter in his version.
Well, this was the other one, right? Or
yeah.
whoever had.
Yeah.
So there we go. That should have been. That didn't.
Something didn't go.
I'm gonna undo. There. Yeah, something seemed weird. Wait for async. Oh, well, that's the one we wanted, right?
Yeah, but I think you posted it inside something else.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now let's paste. There we go. All right.
Yeah. That should do it.
Run it.
Okay, so now it's passing too few. Okay, so the issue now is that
we got it. Yeah.
That one of the OCR versions, the old one, is now not getting what it wanted because it's using only one parameter for wait for async, and the new one has two. And
I need to swap out, instead of deleting them, I can come back into here and change those, right? Were those two that we...
The OCR, the one that's not called TD OCR, the one that's just called OCR.
Yeah, but I can just get rid of this, right? And then change the other OCR.
Yeah.
Right, so change that and then find OCR. That.
At least...
Right?
Wasn't the other one called OCR with a small OCR? I don't know.
Well,
I would comment it out because it has function calls that are no longer functioning. So I would just comment it out. Yeah, the entire function. No, that's the new one. That's not the one you're supposed to comment out.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because this was the original one.
No, that.
All right, let me go to let me just do some undos. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's that one.
That's the one you need to comment out.
Yeah, okay. So let me go back. Okay.
No, that's not the one. This one says random access stream. That's the new one. That's the one we want to have. Okay. The other OCR, it says file as the first parameter. More? Do what?
Oh, we're not in our. Somehow we jumped.
Oh.
I don't know how, but we jumped. This one.
That's one. Yeah.
Okay.
This one we want to comment out. Is that a block comment? Is that why it turned blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. 116.
Okay. What's it saying now? Call to non-existent function.
Oh, because maybe
you undid
have the
rename. Yeah.
Because I undid it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, look at
Hey, it started. No errors. So let's see if it worked.
that. It not only worked, it's so lightning fast to me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane. Wow.
Yeah. You probably need to change that message box and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw in my little notification, which is what I just prefer to show it.
And the ones you put the A's in front of, those two above there.
Yeah, I can get rid of them.
Yeah, away with those. Yeah, that one as well. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, man. That's awesome.
Sure.
And again, I mean, you worked through it and actually got it to work. That's impressive. And I know you were not I'm not gonna say uncertain, but not in a full comfort zone of knowing, the ins and outs of stuff. But I didn't understand any. I mean, I understood the stuff as you're saying them when you were explaining it to me, but I had no clue on the vast majority of that.
Yeah, and as you saw, the actual lines that you see here, you're converting the bitmap that you already have.
Right here, that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, you're converting, or you're creating a separate version of it. Convert bitmap to H bitmap, right? You're not really converting because you're just creating an extra bitmap in another format.
And this one loads it as a stream, or a random access stream, because that is what it needs, because it's not locked down, so to speak.
Yeah.
The OCR function needs a random
Yeah, and I think there's more to it. And when we read quickly over the actual OCR function, what it needs, the OCR function is something that's called a software bitmap or software something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you can't create those apparently directly from a GGI one. So to actually create a software a bitmap, you need to first create a random access stream. So it's kind of an intermediary. I think I'm not entirely sure that's it's accurate, but from what I believe I read.
Cool.
Did it work?
It works.
Nice.
Very cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was like, it was one of those, I thought it was going to be like a 5-minute thing for Maestrieth to look at, and he didn't, he looked at it, but he's like, yeah, I don't see an easy way to get the OCR tool to accept something from memory. And obviously,
and I'd say if you go to the OCR function, it's cheating you somehow.
Oh, and I can get rid of this one now too.
Yeah, you can actually do that. Yeah. I think they mostly have the same code in them. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't scrutinized them, but within reason they have the same thing.
That's the notify.
And where did you actually put the OCI one? There it is. Okay. So if if you go down into the place where it says random access stream, is that just about here? It's the first time I think it shows up with on line 1901. That del call there, create async, which is bitmap decoder class from just reading at it, or it's doing something with the bitmap decoder class might be a better way of putting it. And then on 1903, I think it is, where it does a COM object query, where it actually queries for a specific bitmap frame. And then next to it's getting the sizes of that bitmap frame. But yeah, so it's the frame of the bitmap, right? It's just a way of putting it. And then on line 1911, you actually have the software bitmap. And so it's using the I random access stream with the bitmap decoder class, so that you can actually decode the H bitmap that you made into a random access stream, so that using the decoder object can make the software bitmap. So I understand why Maestria was like, no, I don't see an easy way of doing it.
Yeah.
So totally happy that someone like T-Dringer saw this. And I remember wanting to do this, and I was researching it, and there wasn't any direct way for AutoHotkey to make a software bitmap. And I can't remember what he's called, the original creator of this version of OCR, but he says it just below where T-Dringer did it, that there isn't any really direct way of creating what's needed. That's where he says it, and he kind of says what I read, and when I read it, I was like, okay, then I don't really know where to go with it. And maybe that same day, or maybe while I was reading up on it, T-Dringer and Malkev had actually created these two things. So to me, that makes a lot of sense, and it's nice that there are people who are able to do it. Again, I would be at a loss if we didn't have these quite amazing programmers, or whatever we're going to call them. They probably better know what they are than what.
It's amazing, because I would have thought this not only is it possible, but wouldn't have been that complicated. I'm like, hey, I already have a screen clipping tool where I get it, and it's some sort of an image, and I just don't want it to have to load it as a file. How hard can that be, right? But yet, obviously, it is.
Yeah, and I know Malkav, I don't know if I'm pronouncing what it's called, but he talks a bit about you can use this log bits with GDI Plus and send the stride to a UWP image buffer. And to me, that's probably some built-in Windows native stuff. That's at least where I first saw these software bitmaps, which is a new format, or I don't know if it's new. It's at least it's a different format than the bitmaps that we're used to. From what I understand, maybe the bits have more depth or more dimensions, or it's formatted differently. But yeah.
While we're on this general topic, Brad, remember Brad from the webinars and stuff? He had written me this morning, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to find an easy way to shove an image into the clipboard so I can easily just hit paste in wherever I am. Yeah. And so I thought, probably the GDIP library. And that's what I solved it, by borrowing everyone else's work, right? Not my work, but I thought like either the window, the WIA, the Windows, what is it? Something WAI, Windows Acquisition, Image Acquisition, WIA, yeah, would have been one. But do you have any? Would you have done I was hoping for some sort of a COM object that I wouldn't have to rely on an external library, of stuff. Do you have any thoughts of?
Doesn't I think that GDI Plus might have, or maybe it was the creator of the GDI or one of the writers of GDI Plus who tried to make an image to clipboard function. Can you look at the GDI Plus library and see if there is something called clipboard in that library? Yeah, I was just thinking if you looked in Studio and searched the actual one.
You can create it from the clipboard.
Okay. Set bitmap to clipboard. Yeah. That would have been the one I would have gone for first, and I only think it maybe jumps a single step or something from what you have in yours. But again, as you can see here, it involves a good amount of del calls. Yeah. So what did you have in the version that you had? What had you done there?
Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Oh, because it's on the website. I didn't pull it up. And that's not it.
Oh, yeah. So you dispose of it, you shut it down, set clipboard data. Okay, is that another function? Oh, you have that below there, set clipboard data. Oh, and it's going through the exact same thing as you saw the one over. So you're actually doing exactly what the GDI
which was maybe where I found this. Maybe this wasn't incorporated into GDI at that time, or it's highly unlikely they actually wrote it exactly the same, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to say, but I do know that the GDI one at least is quite a few years old. But this one, I don't know how old that one is.
But again, I was hoping the other one I thought of, I didn't look at it, but was the WinClip, I think it's called. I thought maybe there's one there to shove it into the clipboard from the clipboard side of things instead of from converting it outside.
And the thing is, it's because he wants to have a file put into the clipboard, not the actual file, but the image in the file, so to speak. And I don't see any way that's much quicker than this, because you're using the functionality of create bitmap from file, which is kind of what he's wishing for. And then you're putting that pointer to the bitmap into the clipboard so that it can actually paste that bitmap somewhere. So I don't see any shorter way. It's just the matter of, I have a file that's a bitmap, and if I double click it, it will open in Paint or whatever.
Right.
And what that is actually doing is these steps.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Or whatever. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But it's displaying a bitmap on the screen in Windows control. And what we're doing here is that we're opening a file from its path and getting the pointer to the bitmap, and then we're posting that data to the clipboard. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I hadn't really thought it through, but I get it. The fact that we're doing the same thing. It's just not displaying it in the GUI, but it's still getting it, opening it, storing it in a similar way. It's just not displaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Mm.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Absolutely.
Let me